So one of the most powerful skills that you can have when you're planning out your finances and especially your retirement is knowing your strong suits when it comes to your financials. Better yet, maybe saying building your financial avatar. What kind of financial behaviors do you have? What kind of strong suits? Where do you struggle? Where do you excel? Understanding these things can help you draw out a more decisive roadmap to your retirement, and I'm going to break that down more in this video. This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity, helping you to increase your net worth through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity. So, I like to bring a lot of my client experiences to this channel because many of the clients that I work with on a daily basis are from diverse backgrounds, age groups, parts of the country, parts of the world, and their financial goals, their financial struggles, their retirement goals, their retirement struggles, all of these different things tend to mirror you as my audience. So what I do oftentimes, many of these videos that I shoot are so original because they're coming from live client experiences that I've had recently. One of the most common denominators I've noticed when I deal with clients around retirement and retirement planning is finding out that many of my clients fall in one or two categories. This is an oversimplification. Of course, there's many different divergence when it comes to retirement plans and retirement goals, but two common denominators that I pick up on is either one, the client is very conservative, anti-debt, or I have a client that is pro-debt and willing to take high risk and typically is a high earner. And understanding these two different lanes has helped me to see a pathway to retirement in both sides. And that's what I want to cover with you guys today in this video. When you start to break down which side of the aisle you fall on from a low risk, low debt perspective and somebody who has a high risk tolerance and willing to go out there and try to push for a higher income, it paints a different picture on what type of retirement you need to be working towards on your way. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of retirement planning that you guys run across, especially if you're not working with a specialized professional directly one-on-one who's learning your specific needs and situation, it's kind of cookie cutter, right? You run into a scenario where you're taught to put so much money away for so much period of time, strive for certain returns, and it doesn't really address the kind of financial behavior or characteristics that you have, and a lot of times it may not be fitting your strong suit. Some of you are great at money management, great at avoiding or minimizing debt, and have a low maintenance lifestyle. And so this is really great when you start describing a retirement picture where you don't need to make a ton of money to have a comfortable retirement because your living expenses are so manageable that you actually don't need to go out there and kill yourself during your working years to have a comfortable retirement down the line. You have a reasonable, consistent savings rate, continue to practice those debt management and money management habits, and keep your quality of life low and always, as always, adjust for inflation. And in many cases, you can have a very comfortable work life because you don't need to kill yourself to retire later on. On the other hand, some of you are very, very, engaged when it comes to risk taking financially, and you're all about, high earnings. Some of you really excel at making money. You may not manage it the best, and you may have a significant debt load, but you know how to go out and hustle and make money, whether that's through your work ethic, your intellect, specific skill sets. For whatever reasons, you just do well earning money and getting your hands on money. So in your case, you're able to actually go on the other end of the spectrum and play the debt game. You can go out there and build your borrowing capacity up, build your personal credit, build your business credit, and take on those risks to get those higher rewards. Because for you just don't want to have a limitation on your quality of life. You want to be able to write a blank check for yourself. And you have the risk tolerance and the skill sets, the ability to earn money. You have the financial behaviors, the characteristics to be a high earner. And this is a different type of retirement plan because you can afford to go out and take certain risks. You can even have a totally different trajectory with your saving and investment rates because this person A over here, who may be conservative, maybe focused on saving 10% of their salary a year, for instance, right? And if they do that for a certain period of time at a certain return, they have a certain lump sum waiting for them as their primary retirement, vehicle or lump sum, and they go on to live their lives comfortably on a minimalistic lifestyle. You, on the other hand, may not get to put that kind of money up consistently because you're constantly out there taking risks, deploying capital, borrowing money, and diving into new opportunities. So you may not for a while have that consistency to put up. But when you do hit it, you hit it big. And you might be in a situation where you can put up 40 or 50% of your income. Time is always the number one resource and gift when it comes to investing. But that having been said, it is there's a ton of value in being able to overcompensate with higher returns or higher deployment of savings. So if you can increase your income to the point where you can live the lifestyle you desire during your working years and still put up 40, 50, 60% of your income, but maybe you fell behind 5, 7, or 10 years to the person who consistently put up 10% of their income, you can still get a very sizable return and retirement goose egg over time. And this is what I'm talking about because this is that unique strategy. You guys need to be building an avatar for yourself when it comes to your financial plans and your retirement goals. Because, following these cookie cutter advices around, put this dollar cost average this much into the stock market and strive to get this return and calculate it over this window of time may not be your story. And the sooner you're working in favor, the more sustainable you can be because it's more aligned with your natural behavior. Does that make sense? So what are some of the quick benefits that can come with understanding your avatar? Again, timeline. Understanding if you're somebody who is a prudent saver and low maintenance lifestyle versus somebody who may be a high risk taker but a high earner. You guys may have two totally different timelines. And then also the next layer is going to be contribution levels. You over here, if you're conservative, low debt, and you're just going off of a salary, then you probably are going to be somebody who needs to have a very consistent deployment of savings into your retirement fund. Again, 5, 10, 15% consistently every single year because you may be only making a conservative salary, but it's okay because by the time you get to your retirement years, you have a very low cost lifestyle. This person over here may not have time on their hands because they're taking a lot more risk looking for higher returns. But when they get it right, they can have a totally different contribution level, to compensate for time because they have so much more income coming in. Another thing this is going to help you sort out is what to do when you run into lump sums of money over the years of your lifetime, your working years. This is something that people struggle with because, many of us in some form or fashion from any wide variety of circumstances run into, 4, 5, 6 figures sometimes. And it's very important when these little goose eggs come along to know how to put them in play to make sure that they serve you not only at that time, but in the long run. And if you are somebody who's low maintenance and, debt management, conservative, you get a lump sum of money, then you might be the person who pays off their car, pays off their home, pays down on their home. Maybe you're getting bonuses at work or some other lump sum on an annual basis. If you fall in this conservative avatar that we built, you're probably going to be somebody who takes that money and pays off debt, keeps these things low, or maybe makes a slight extra contribution to your savings, your retirement savings. Avatar B, the high risk taker, the high earner, gets lump sums of money, and maybe that person is the one that goes out and deploys it into a business, takes on a more aggressive investment strategy. You go out and take risks because you're looking for a higher return and that resonates with you. You may not pay off your car. You may not pay down extra on your house or pay off your home. You may leave all of that debt in place because you plan to have a totally different income bracket at some point in time and you have a game plan to get there. I'm the kind of person and I'm the kind of financial professional that advocates for people to function around their finances where it suits them best and what they feel comfortable with because it's going to be sustainable. If you're somebody who's that high risk taker, high earner type mentality, then it's going to pain you to try to save this fixed amount for all these different years to get to this fixed outcome. You need to go out and play your strengths. The person over here who's conservative and low maintenance is going to have a heart attack trying to go out and take all of these different risks to increase their income. They just want to get a stable job, a stable career, or a stable side hustle, a stable business or freelancing career, and have a natural increase in their income, be diligent with their debt management, diligent with their savings, and stay consistent until they get to that mark. It's all about fitting what works for you. There's so many different financial strategies and products out there to tailor around you. You do not have to take this narrow path that is promoted in the mainstream financial space. And that's what I've learned working with my clients that has worked. I've seen so many people in their retirement years who literally have only $400,000 or $500,000 in retirement after all those working years, which is good, a lump sum of money. But when you start talking about retiring and potentially living 20 to 30 years out, it's not a lot of money. But if they're getting Social Security and they have that lump sum paying them out of fixed income, or they do a certain withdrawal rate, because they only have $1,000, $1,500 a month in expenses, or less than $2,000 a month in expenses, they're able to get their Social Security to pay for the majority of their living expenses and actually have play money out of that lump sum, even though it's only a moderate six-figure retirement package. On the other hand, I've seen people who've gone out and taken tremendous risk, have really decent-sized rental portfolios and successful businesses that they're able to retire from, and have 7 figures, sometimes 8 figures in assets that they can live off of. They still have mortgages, they still have car notes, and moderately expensive lifestyles, but because they've taken the risk, they've been diligent, and they stayed down, they have the kind of nest eggs and cash flow and assets to pay for those expenses. So I hope this made sense for you. Play your strengths. Play your strengths. Do not allow anybody to force you into a box or into a lane that does not resonate with you. You need to learn from your financial professionals. You need to learn from these YouTube videos, books, but at the end of the day, you need to customize your plan. And that's why I always say, customize your financial blueprint. I appreciated bringing you guys this content. I know it was valuable for you. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, I want y'all to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.